Okay guys, welcome to Distant Learning. Today we are going to figure out something totally different, and it is figure out distancing through bearings. Okay, it is something totally new that we are trying to figure out today. So let's go ahead and read the problem and do what is asked of us to do. Okay, usually we have to read the problem twice in order to get the sense of it. So let's do that. Okay, it says a plane flies 1.3 hours at 110 miles per hour on a bearing of 38 degrees. Okay, it turns and flies 1.5 hour at the same speed on a bearing of 128 degrees. How far is the plane from its starting point? Okay, so we read it again. It says a plane flies 1.3 hour at 110 miles per hour on a bearing of 38 degrees. It turns and flies 1.5 hour at the same speed on a bearing of 128 degrees. How far is the plane from its starting point? Okay, I have already drawn a visual for you guys to see. So here it is. It's all it's saying here. Let me move the camera a bit so you can see. All it is saying is that this plane right here is flying, right? So it flies 1.3 hour at 110 miles per hour on a bearing of 38 degrees. Sometimes we have to get the visual out in order for us to understand. Okay, it goes. Then it turns around and fly at the same speed 128 degree bearing for 1.5 hour. So we have to figure out how far is the plane from a starting point. Okay, when we are talking about how far, right? How far is the plane from a starting point? We are talking about distance. So let's figure out our distance formula. What is our distance formula? Our distance formula is going to be rate times time. So we have to figure out these two things, right? We have to know what is our rate and what is our time. Okay, so let's figure out the time first. Okay, what is our time? Let's figure out our time. So we're going to say time, okay, is x squared. It was 1.5 squared plus 1.3 squared. That was our time. Okay, our time was 1.5 squared. Are you follow? Plus 1.3 squared. Okay, so we continue on. So x squared right here is going to be 3.94. Okay, and then we figure out the square root of that. It's going to be 1.985 per hour. So this is our time. We have figured out our time. Keep in mind, again, let me move this down. Our distance formula is rate times time. What is our distance? Our distance, 1.3 hour at 110 miles per hour. So our distance is going to be 110 time our rate. This is a rate. 110 miles per hour is the rate time our time, which is 1.985 time. So what is our distance? So our distance, when we do this, when we put this in our calculator, it's going to be 218.344 miles. So that's how far the plane was from its starting point. It was 218.344 miles. So this is how you figure out this bearing problem.